Welcome back to Fish It First, the channel where you can trust the product reviews because we're not sponsored by the manufacturers. Christmas is right around the corner. It's my favorite time of year, not only because we get to celebrate Christ coming to earth, but also because we get to give gifts to those who we love. Now, if you're like me, you have a hard time sometimes figuring out what gifts to get for certain people on your list. But if any of those people are into fishing, fear not, don't stress, because I'm gonna help you out here with this 2020 Ultimate Fishing Gift Guide. This is the Bass Edition. If you haven't checked out the Walleye Edition, go ahead and do that. This is the Bass Edition, and I'm breaking it down into the $0 to $10 stocking stuffer range, the $10 to $100 range, and then those gifts that are $100 and up. So without further ado, let's get started. All right, so starting in that $0 to $10 range, Outcast Tackle has been making some pretty cool lures with Josh Douglas and Seth Fighter. And this first one on our list, coming in at $9.99, is one of those lures. This is Seth Fighter's Marabou Fly Jig. It comes in a 2-pack. Great gift idea. Color recommendation that I would say is black. That's going to be good in most situations. Pick any one of those sizes. Is going to be a great option. For $9.99, the Outcast Tackle Fighter Fly Marabou Jig. Next up, you can never go wrong giving somebody a bag of Yamamoto Senkos. There's probably no other soft plastic that has caught more fish than this one right here. And my recommendation for you would be something like this. Green Pumpkin Magic in 5-inch, that's $7.49. Anybody who gets a bag of Senkos from you is going to be happy. Next on the list, still in that $0 to $10 range, we're looking at the Owner Flashy Swimmer with twist lock at $4.99. In this one, I'd probably choose a 1/0 or a 3/0 size. This is a great option for presenting your paddle tail swim baits with a little bit more flash, with a little bit more water vibration. If you have somebody who's never gotten one of these before and never used one of these before, it'll be a great gift because it'll expand the way that they fish. If it's somebody who has used underspins before, they're going to be happy because you're giving them one of the top-of-the-line underspins that you can get out there. The Owner Flashy Swimmer for $4.99. Next on the list at $7.49 here at Tackle Warehouse, the Outcast Tackle Slick Series 2 casting rod covers. Now, rod covers or rod sleeves, I think they get a little bit overhyped sometimes in how much protection they can provide for rods, but one thing they do pretty well is when you are putting a rod in and out of a storage tube, mostly into a storage tube, it puts the rod at risk of guides hitting the edge of that tube and bending or breaking guides. By putting one of these rod sleeves or rod covers over the rod, it allows it to smoothly slide into those rod tubes without damage to the guides, so I think they're a good option. I've got rod sleeves on all of my rods. Why did I pick this one? Because most of them are single color. These Outcast ones have some really cool two-tone. It's woven. They've got like a black and orange here, and the other option is a black and blue color. Looks really cool. Check those out. $7.49 a piece. Great option, that $0 to $10 range. Moving on. Okay, next on the list, the Bass Pro Shops XPS Tungsten Finesse Drop Shot Weight. Really, it can be any brand tungsten drop shot weight, and don't worry about the weight. When you are fishing drop shots, you're going to be fishing in different depths, different water conditions. You're going to need a variety of weights, so don't fuss over what weight you choose. Pick up a little container of these and give them to somebody for Christmas, and they are going to be happy you did. Next on the list, VMC Sinker Stops, coming in at $2.09. I would choose the medium size in these. These Sinker Stops are great for two situations. One, if you've got slip bobbers, or more common in bass fishing, for pegging bullet weights. These are great. You can buy 2-3 of them. You're still staying under $10 and stick them there in the stocking, good stocking stuffer. The VMC Sinker Stops, great choice, great option. Next on the list, I absolutely love these hooks for drop shot fishing, especially in areas where you've got some thick cover or weeds. These are the VMC Weedless Nico hooks. They're great little hooks, very stout, very strong, and they've got 2 pieces of thick fluorocarbon on them that keeps them weedless. Sizes that I like are either the 1/0 or the size 1. I think that those work really well. $6.69 VMC Weedless Nico hook. Give somebody those with some of those drop shot weights that we talked about earlier, and there you're completing the full package for them to be able to go out and do some drop shot fishing. Next on the list, we've got the Strike King XD crankbait. Now you can get this in different options. You can get 5XD, 3XD, basically whatever that number is, the 5, the 6, the 3 before the XD, multiply that by 3 and you've got about the right depth range where these baits are going to run. If you don't know what to get for somebody, just go ahead and pick one of them. Again, you're going to be fishing different depth scenarios. It's going to work at some point for them. If you're unsure what color, you're never going to go wrong with a powder blue back chartreuse. Great option there, $6.99 for a staple in the industry. Next on the list, we've got the Berkley Powerbait Max Scent Flatworm. Justin Lucas absolutely crushed it, breaking records on Sturgeon Bay this year. John Cox was catching a ton of smallmouth, river fishing in Lake St. Clair this year. The Max Scent Flatworm is an absolutely dynamic smallmouth catching lure, probably the best soft plastic bait this year for smallmouth. This would make an excellent gift, and at only $6.99, you can easily pick up a few of these for somebody, and they are going to be super, super happy when they open these up. Now, they're hard to find in stock in some places. You might have to jump around to different sites. You may even have to go into stores. Typically in stores, Cabela's, Bass Pro, they have got some in stock, but you may have to do a little bit of searching to find these. Moving on, Reaction Innovations Man Bear Pig. Bag of 10 of these coming in at $5.29. Rig these puppies up on a Superline Gamakatsu hook, like a 3-aught or a 4-aught hook with a pegged bullet weight on top of it, and you are going to be catching largemouth like it is your job. A lot of times you'll be catching the fish on the fall with these because they've got those little curly tails that'll be whipping as it falls down. These are fantastic. Any color you get is going to be great. I tend to stick with just the plain old green pumpkin, but any variation of green is going to be a phenomenal choice. The Man Bear Pig, get a bag or two for somebody who you love. These are great. Next on the list at $3.49, the Fuji Easy Keeper. Not all rods have a lure keeper or a hook keeper on them, and some that do have them in places that aren't very convenient. The Fuji Easy Keeper allows you to attach this lure keeper or this hook keeper anywhere that you want on your rod. Great option, great gift, $3.49. You can easily pick up a few of them. Great gift idea there. All right, next on the list is the Bass Pro Shops XPS Tungsten Finesse Jig. These are really great. I had one day in southern Minnesota where I was on a really, really tough bite. Went to my local Cabela's, bought some of these, brought them out there, and started catching fish like crazy. They're a great little lure. They're able to be extremely compact. The ones that I've thrown have been in a 1/4 ounce or an 1/8 ounce. And because of that tungsten being more dense than lead, you're able to have a very, very compact profile. They fall extremely slow. Most of the bites that I was getting was on the fall. And the weed guard on these is appropriately trimmed already. It's just beyond the edge of the barb there on the hook, so you don't have to trim those at all. The Bass Pro Shops XPS Tungsten Finesse Jig, great option, $3.49. Next on the list at $6.49, the Bass Pro Shops XPS Quick Rigger Tool, or simply an O-ring tool. These are a great gift for somebody who is going through a lot of soft plastic worms. If you're using soft plastic worms without O-rings, you're probably having to switch about every fish or two to put on a new plastic worm. Not once you use these O-rings. These O-rings will let you catch 3-4 fish before you're having to switch out with a different worm. These are great. Great gift idea. $6.49. The Bass Pro Shops XPS Quick Rigger Tool. Okay, next at $5.49, it's a Strike King Rage Swimmer Swimbait. A great paddle tail swim bait. What I recommend is a green pumpkin in 3.75 inches. You can actually even add that to that owner flashy swimmer underspin that we talked about earlier and have a great presentation. This is a great gift. Next on the list, we've got the Flukes. The Zoom 5-inch Super Fluke. Throwing this on a Gamakatsu Superline hook will get you some great action, and you'll be able to catch a lot of fish. $3.49 for this. Once it loads here, any variation of a white color is a good way to go. The Zoom 5-inch Super Fluke, $3.49. Well, that wraps it up for the $0 to $10 range. Now we're moving into that $10 to $100 range, and we're going to start it off with the ZMan Chatterbait Jackhammer. The Jackhammer and the Strike King Thunder Cricket are probably the gold standard in chatterbaits. We're throwing the Jackhammer on here. In terms of color options, good options would be a white and a chartreuse, like that, or your standard green pumpkin. You're not really going to go wrong with any of these colors, but those two should be great for most conditions, and therefore a good choice if you're giving this as a gift. Moving on to the next one, we've got the ZMan Chatterbait Jackhammer Stealthblade. Now this is new to this year. It was all the rage at iCast, and essentially what this is the jackhammer but with a plastic or an acrylic blade instead of the metal blade that's on the original jackhammer. Gives it a little bit different sound, a little more subtle presentation. And on these, again, having a little bit of chartreuse in there, or having your green pumpkin color, if you're giving it as a gift, those are going to be pretty safe bets. Okay, next on the list at $44.97, it's the Bass Pro Shop Spinning Floor Rod Rack. Now, if you're like me, somewhere in your house, in your garage, in your basement, there's going to be that corner in the room where all the rods are just leaning up into the corner. This is a great way to go where you can actually store your rods, you can keep them organized, actually add a little bit of decorative flair to the room, and because it's spinning, you can get access to a rod that's in the back without having to pull the whole unit away from the corner of your room. So, $44.97, the Bass Pro Shop Spinning Floor Rod Rack might be a good option for you for a gift this year. Next on the list from TH Marine, we've got the Motorstick Outboard Motor Support Stick Pair. Essentially what these are transom savers. So if you've got somebody out there who you're buying gifts for, you know they've got a boat, they've got an outboard motor on that boat. When they're trailering it, that outboard motor is going to be rocking and putting stress on the transom. These transom savers simply slip over your trim ram and allow some extra support on that outboard motor so it's not putting so much strain on the transom. You really only need one of these, but they come as a pair from TH Marine, $39.95. Great gift here. Right along with that comes the next one, the 4-inch steer stop outboard hydraulic steering locks at $14.99. Get the transom saver, also get the steering locks. When these are in place, they prevent the outboard from shifting back and forth left and right when you're trailering your boat. Great way for you to show that you care about helping somebody protect their investment in their outboard motor boat. Next on the list, we've got the Plano A-Series 2.0 Tackle Backpack. Now, if you go look at other videos on this channel, you'll see that I've done a complete review of this tackle backpack. I've owned it for over a year, and it is awesome. I used to use tackle boxes, but they're bulky. They're not really good if you're going hiking or through some thick woods to a remote fishing location. But this tackle backpack is phenomenal. They're going to love it if you give somebody this, and under $100, it is the best tackle backpack out there that you can buy. You're getting a lot of value here for $79.99. The Plano A-Series 2.0 Tackle Backpack, great gift idea. All right, next on the list, we're going to go over two reels, and these reels, in my opinion, are the best sub $100 casting and spinning reels. So let's start with the casting reels. The Abu Garcia Revo X bait casting reel, $99.99. Gear ratios here, a 6-to-1 is probably a good middle-of-the-road option. Make sure if you're getting this as a gift for somebody that they have other rods that have reels on them that look like this. And the reason why I say that is because if you have somebody who's a casual fisherman, chances are they're probably only used to using spinning reels. Casting reels take a little bit of learning to be able to use. So make sure that they already have casting reels, or if they don't, get it for them anyway, and it gives them the opportunity to try to learn something new. So Abu Garcia Revo X, great reel option, going to be a great gift. In terms of spinning reels, the Fluke Supreme is the best sub $100 spinning reel, bar none, in my opinion, coming in at $99.99. What I really like about these, yes, they're very smooth, very, very smooth. They offer a bunch of different reel sizes, which is great. You can pick the one that works for you. But what I also like is if you look here, they've got these little foam or rubber bumpers right on the reel, and that allows you to actually put braid right onto that reel without any backing material. If you like backing material, great, you can still do that, but you don't have to. If you are going to be getting this for someone for ice fishing, you could go with that 25X, but if we're bass fishing, more open water fishing here, my favorite option is the 30X in terms of the size of the reel. Go with the size 30. Okay, next up at $24.99. Yes, it's a lot of money for one lure, but they are going to have a smile on their face if they get this from you. It's the Megabass Ito Vision 110 Jerkbait. This is probably the gold standard in terms of jerkbaits. Color choices for this, the French Pearl is great. The French Pearl US is great. Big fan here of the GoPro Blue. This is a great option. And I want to say it's the Pro Perch that I like best. I do like the Perch down here, but also this GP Pro Perch is a great color option as well. And with the Perch, especially if you're on a northern lake. If you're down south, maybe not so much. Stick to those other two. But if you're fishing up north, definitely that GP Pro Perch is a great option. Okay, and lastly, in the $10 to $100 range, we're talking about the ZMan Bait Locker Tackle Bag. Now, this stays on your boat, and it helps you organize your bags of soft plastics. $59.99. ZMan is going to help that person who you're giving this gift to be able to keep their soft plastics organized so they can get to them quicker and get to the ones that they want quicker. Great gift idea. Okay, now we're moving on to the $100 and up. These are those big gifts for that special someone in your life who loves to fish. Let's get into it. Okay, this is the Bass Pro Shops Deluxe Fish Table at $94.97. This thing's really cool. Let's start off on the left side here. You've got a sink, and this attaches underneath to your standard garden hose. Then you've got the sink basin here. It has a hook underneath it to hold on to a 5-gallon pail and drain coming right down into that pail there, so you get all your runoff water caught into that 5-gallon pail. You've got two little bowls here for your fillets. You've got a holder for your fillet knife. You've got your cutting board right there in the middle, and then on this side here, this is actually an opening that allows you to attach a 13-gallon or larger even trash bag on there so that you can throw your skin and waste in that area. Really a complete package. Very cool if you're into filleting fish, not having to wait in line at the cleaning station or the cleaning house, just being able to go home and do it all yourself. That's very cool, and at $94.97 you get the complete package right there. Okay, next on the list we've got the Yolatech Powerstick 53 Gen 2 Action Camera Boat Mount. Very, very cool. I've got one sitting right over here in the corner. I used it all the time last summer. Here's what this is. This is a stick mount for a GoPro that mounts into the nav light in the back of the boat. It uses the power from the nav lights to power your GoPro so that you can film your fishing experiences. This last summer I caught a really, really thick, really girthy 38-inch northern on Lake of the Woods, and I caught it on some very light walleye lines. I had to fight it for about 10.5 minutes and was able to rewatch the entire thing on video thanks to this right here. Having the batteries, having to be switching out batteries on a GoPro probably would have made that impossible to capture that because we'd already been out there for like an hour to 2 hours fishing. So this is a really cool gift. If somebody has a GoPro, if they like to film their fishing, they're going to love this gift. Okay, this next one is very exciting at $129.99, the Abu Garcia Virtual Casting Rod. What makes it virtual? Well, without any battery power at all. In the butt end of this rod, there is a little button. If you download the Angler app on your phone, when you're out fishing and you catch a fish, you hit the little button on the butt end of this rod, and it will send weather data, pressure, moon cycle, wind direction and speed, and location of your catch to this app so you can store all of that data to try to recreate your good fishing days going forward. A really neat idea. I love it when companies start to integrate new technology into fishing equipment. There are standalone things that do this already out there, but to integrate that into your fishing equipment that you're already going to use, and coming from a great company like Abu Garcia, this is a 30-ton graphite blank with zirconium inserts on the guides. This is a really nice rod, so to have a nice rod with integrated technology, I'm excited. I'm probably going to be picking up one of these very soon. If you don't know what to get for somebody, just go with a 7-foot medium heavy and you're going to be in pretty good shape right there. Next on the list, another rod, Dobbins Fury. The Dobbins Fury rods have sort of become the standard for me. They are so good for the price. I absolutely love them. Again, in the Dobbins Fury series here, if you don't know what to get for somebody, getting a 7-foot medium heavy right here, Dobbins Fury 7-foot medium heavy, fast action, is a great place to start. And last on the list, and this one doesn't have a price because it's going to obviously be well above $100, But if you've got someone, maybe a spouse or significant other, who caught a fish of a lifetime in the past, and maybe they have a picture, maybe they only have the story about the fish, and you want to immortalize that for them, you want to recreate those positive memories for them, a really cool way to do that is with a replica fish mount. And there are a lot of places to get replica fish mounts, but I've spent a lot of time researching the good, the better, and the best. And if we're getting up to the best of the best range, I've got to direct you here. This is top-notch taxidermy out of South Dakota. I'm not affiliated with them. I don't know who owns and operates it, but just go through their portfolio and look at some of their work. It's absolutely incredible. A taxidermized fish replica, really, really cool gift idea. Again, that's going to be very expensive. We're talking about at least $500 and above, but if it's that sort of 1 in every 5-year gift, or you've got the money to spend, it can be a really cool gift idea. Well, that wraps up the Bass Gift Guide, and thanks for joining us. If you haven't seen the Walleye Fishing Guide, you should go over and check that one out. Check out the other videos on the channel. Make sure to subscribe and hit the little bell icon next to it so you get all of our latest videos. And until next time, tight lines and Merry Christmas.